I'm told that we have John on the line.
The minister?
Yes, the minister.
Okay, that's good. Let him come on.
JJ, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I hope you're doing well, sir.
We're managing.
All right.
You're doing more than managing, my brother.
Your friend Kojopoku says hello.
Oh, my regards to him.
Yeah, he says his regards to you. Anyway, so JJ, just a couple of issues. You know you don't have that much time. We're also running out of time, but just a couple of issues. Now, the minority held a news conference yesterday, and they raised quite a number of issues. The first one is that, first of all, you are engaged in, so basically you're talking too much instead of doing your work. And also, why are you taking us on an emotional roller coaster with this 5 hours more to bring in fuel, otherwise we'll go off, and now recently you just said 2.6 days more, otherwise something bad will happen. Why are you doing that?
Thank you. First of all, I'm surprised at the minority. I'm sitting in my office as minister. I am working. The minority, inclusive, because they are part of parliament. They invite me as minister. Come and give them a full vision on the state of Ghana's energy situation, i.e., all the statistics, challenges, and what we are doing to address the challenges. As minister, I oblige. I go to give the briefings. They bring in the press to cover the briefing. The press reports, and the same minority says, why should the minister talk? I did not invite the press. I did not say I want to speak to the press. They invited me. And they put in the press to cover everything. So I provided the statistics. The debt situation, our fuel situation, our generation capacity, and what we are doing to address the challenges we inherited. So in giving them the statistics, I told them that we have 2 days, 6 hours of light crude oil for one of the plants. I didn't say there will be no shedding. I didn't say there's imminent challenge. I even added that we've ordered 450,000 barrels of light crude oil to augment whatever stock we have. Even if we have 1 day, just 1 day of fuel stock, we have fuel replacing that. It's not an issue. But for some reason, some media reported more on the 2 days, 6 hours, and painted it as if there's some crisis looming. As minister, I had to correct that and assure the Republic that, look, yes, it's 2.6 days, but it's not alarming. We have fuel coming in. There's no cause for concern. Don't worry. The situation is improving. Then the same minority goes to hold a press conference and say that the minister is talking too much. And then ask the minister to publish a load shedding timetable. When at the meeting, I gave them the statistics of our generation capacity. I gave them the statistics of our demand and told them that in order to meet that demand, we've cut all exports to virtually zero. And so we are not shedding load. Moro, if you are not shedding load, how do you publish a load shedding timetable? Yesterday, and Kojo can check from the control room. Yesterday, we had enough generation to meet demand. The day before yesterday, the same. So how do you publish a load shedding timetable when, as we speak, your demand meets, the supply meets your demand? I did admit to them that some plants were due for maintenance last year. For some reason, they were not allowed to do so, but I've given them the permission to do that. So because of that, we don't have a reserve margin, and that's a fact. So if one plant goes off, we run into a temporary challenge, and then we try and bring the plant back. But the plant is not gone off. They are working. How do I publish a load shedding timetable? And then when they say you are talking too much, this one, I'll explain them.
I see. Now, John, hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, so that 2.6 days buffer that we have left, what have you done since then to make sure
So
that we do not run into any kind of
stretched
challenge.
them. What you do is that when you have 2.6 days, you then bring in buoy power to run a little bit more. As we speak, the vessel is in, so we're taking more deliveries. And then you even out. In fact, I was even talking about the liquid fuel to buttress why we need a gas infrastructure. Because once you have the gas, then you don't need to go and order for light crude. The vessel doesn't need to come. You don't have an issue of saying that you have only 3 days, 4 days, or 1 week because the gas flows. All you might need is some liquid fuel as strategic stock, just in case you have some interruption with gas supply. So it was a very frank, open discussion because I thought I was with my colleagues who understand the sector better. And so we should have an open discussion, tell them about the solutions, what we are doing with generation, the plans that are coming on. Now we're trying to get more gas from Nigeria. We are working with Talo to increase gas to our Turbo plant. We are working with ENI to increase gas in August. I mean, my understanding was that it was a very, very frank discussion with my colleagues. Then the Volta region MPs, this issue about Volta region power. And once again, I'm happy we have an expert there. The transmission line to Volta region is a 69 kVA line. All the other lines are 161 or 330. So because it's 69, it's like loading a Tico truck with goods in an articulator truck. The line will be going on and off, or the frequency will start decaying, or the frequency will be very low in Volta region. It's been like that for years. I explained to them at the meeting and told them measures that we've put in place, where we've reached. Finance ministers, no objection. I'm waiting for public procurement authorities board to be established. Then we can go to TPA for procurement and begin the commencement of taking a 330 kVA line from Tamale through Bimbila, Karachi, all the way towards Pando, so that we can reduce the burden and increase the capacity. So when I heard those comments again, I don't know whether they were misreported. But these are the facts.
Okay. My penultimate question, what's the current update with Kapa? They had threatened to shut down their plant. What's the update on that?
Thank you. Car power issue came up. Car power is owed about $400 million. We've inherited that debt. We are working around it. Car power writes a letter and say that they will shut down by 18th. Today is 20th, is that not it? They've not shut down because we engaged them. And I told the MPs there that yes, it's a major challenge. Car power is threatening. But through negotiation, Car power has agreed to withdraw that ultimatum. And so Car power is continuing to supply power. We are even revalidating their claims because I think that we should look at the claims again. But in the interim, we'll get them some payment so that it will hold us together whilst we find a solution. And what else will the minister do apart from what I've done? Yes, there's a debt. IPPs alone are owed 1.79 billion. Power generators are owed 3 billion, and all this in dollars. But we have to solve it because we are a government. And it's not like the minister just complains and says that power wants to shut down. So I've thrown my hands in the air. No. You talk about the problem and you talk about the solution. So that if members or experts like Ojo and Koso have some suggestions, they add it to yours, you take it on board, and you make progress. I think that is how we build a nation.
That's good to know. Now, the container gate, simply put, what's the update?
Yes, the containers. We wrote to National Security after the initial report. They've supported us. What we are doing now is to retrieve all the containers that are stuck there and put them to good use. Because the more you keep the containers there, then you have this issue of stolen containers. I've also written to the Attorney General, look at the report critically and possibly institute criminal charges and prosecution against those who are found culpable. That is written to me that he wants the team to do further investigation so that you will have very tight, concrete evidence. So I'm waiting on the Attorney General. But on the other side, retrieving as many containers as we can so that we don't use the taxpayers' money to buy the same products. That is what we are doing with the containers.
You quite clearly are suffering from what I'll term as the paradox of keeping Ghanaians updated on what you're doing, which is carrying Ghanaians along. And the paradox is here that you tell us what the state of affairs is and what you're trying to do to solve it, and yet your critics are saying you're talking too much. So how do you intend to navigate your way out of this? Are you going to stop talking or you continue to talk?
Maybe I would you know what surprises me? The MPs who invited me, the MPs who brought the press. Moro, until I heard the MPs, was there any discussion? It is the MPs who brought the media. I did not bring the media. I did not go to the press. I was sitting in the ministry working. So it becomes very difficult to understand the same people who pulls me in, brings the press, they cover it, and then they go and say, why did you speak? Anyway, we've appointed a very good spokesperson. So I'll leave a lot of the work for the spokesperson. I just thought that this one, the minister himself had to clear the air and assure Ghanaians that there isn't panic, especially when there's information out there that, look, there's going to be panic, doom so looming, there's a challenge. I thought that the minister himself would step forward and clear the air.
Okay.
I think I've done enough. I'll pull back and concentrate on the work and allow my spokesperson to deal with the rest. But I thank all of you. This comment shaped me, it helps me. But I tell you, I will deal with all these situations. I've seen a similar situation before, and it's early days. I've just done barely 4 months, and if I show you what we've done so far, we continue on trajectory. We'll make progress.
Kojo Poku, who is your friend, but also one of your fiercest critics, says that he thinks you're doing quite some good job. Unfortunately, you are not communicating that properly to Ghanaians, and that's why it is quick for people to take you on when you make comments that some people think they can, take out of context. I mean, do you agree with Kojo on that?
No, I think that criticism is a good fit. This world, you cannot know everything.
Okay.
You cannot be an oasis of all knowledge. You do your best. Every day you learn. And I'm telling you, I've learned a lot from my interaction with the MPs. I don't want to put it out there, but I've learned a lot. I mean, like I said, I had a strong feeling that I was dealing with my colleagues. So I feel very comfortable speaking to them. But I ask the coach's criticism in good faith. That's public life. You can't get everything right. You learn and then smoothing the edges. Thank you.
Right. Father John, what's the latest? So, how do you plan to deal with the 80 billion cedis energy sector debts that you recently drew attention to? What plans do you have to retire these debts? It's quite a humongous figure.
We are trying to refinance it, i.e., to sit with the sector players and tell them, look, if you insist on this, what we've inherited, we may all go down. And if you go down, you're also going to suffer. So let's agree on a haircut. We're going to do that. Let's agree on a payment structure. Then we can bring it up. But more importantly, we need to stop the bleeding. As we speak, the collections are not enough to meet the payments. We need to do that. And we've closed all ECG's accounts. They have one account. This quarter, if you look at what happened last year, ECG paid on average $105 million to the IPPs. This quarter, we've paid $181 million to the IPPs. So it tells you that there's light at the end of the tunnel. The IPPs see the money coming regularly, and it puts them in an active state. But going forward, we are not going to sign any direct UTAs again. No. Either VRE leads it, or if we want IPPs, we advertise. We set the criteria, and everybody bids. We choose the best with a condition, and I insist on that in 7 or 10 years when you finish repaying it, you hand the plan to VRE, just like the American model. But I believe in open competitive tender process, for solar and then for thermal plants.
Okay.
And then we're going to retool VRA to also procure some big power plants that are in combined cycle mode so that they can serve as base load to reduce the cost of power. With the efficiency we are putting in place, we would be able to get somewhere. The major challenge now is that, and Kojo may know, the liquid fuels is not part of the tariff structure. So even if we do 100% collection, there's still a deficit with the liquid fuels. We are looking at all the scenarios, and I'm sure we'll come up with a way.
Okay. All right, JJ, thank you very much for your time. Have a good day.